Hi, and welcome back to the Leader's Edge. I'm Emily Chiwa, and with me is Georgia Donaldson. We are leadership coaches on a mission to help you sharpen your competitive advantage and make a positive impact in your organization and community. And leaders, we mean all of you. You don't have to be the head of an organization or the head of department to be a leader. You lead yourself first. So this is for every one of you that have a leadership role. So you probably heard the expression, bring your whole self to work, and wondered how on earth are you going to do that? What if your whole self doesn't want to come to work today? So hold on, before you go off on a tangent, we don't mean your whole self literally. The thinking today is that we bring our best selves or our professional selves when we show up at work. And if you have trouble with navigating authenticity in your professional, even personal lives, we think this conversation with Cindy-Ann Boisson, stand-up comedian and storyteller, is going to be one that you can definitely relate to. So we're gonna now ask Georgia to bring Cindy-Ann on and just think about that idea of authenticity as she prepares to do that. How authentic do you feel you are being in your day-to-day lives?
Okay, thank you so much, Emily. It is a pleasure to have you on, Cindy-Ann Boisson. Listen, it's secret. I've always wanted to be a comedian.
Really?
Okay. And my children would tell you that my jokes are not funny, but they can't convince me. So I need
Right.
to take some lessons from you, Cindy, and welcome to the show.
Thank you
It's
so much
good
for
to have
having
you.
me.
Wonderful. So who is Cindy-Ann? Cindy-Ann is a Trinidad and Tobago born US based comedian, storyteller, and award winning actor. A born performer with a sharp wit and vibrant voice. So Cindy-Ann moved to the United States for her son's swim scholarship dream. Then she chased her own dream on stage. And she has performed all across the US in London, Jamaica, Bahamas, Canada, and her own home in Trinidad. And she has performed among so many of the greats. So, Cindy, and you're here with us this morning, and we're talking about being your true, your authentic self. And it ain't no joke, right, girl?
No
Tell us
joke.
about that. You moved to the United States and you wanted to be a comedian. How
Yeah.
serious was that?
Listen, I didn't move to the United States, like I said, to be a comedian.
Okay.
Actually, wanting to be a comedian was something that I had in the back of my head for a very long time. But there really wasn't that space back home for it. There was, I mean, storytelling and plays, as we call it home, like there was the theater and there was storytelling, but the stand-up comedy that I wanted to do wasn't present. And
Oh,
so even like an acting in theater, there was no money. And I like money.
the broke
And
us.
I mean, who doesn't, right? Even if we
We
don't
need
like,
money to
we
live.
need it. I'm just about to say, because some people are like, money can't buy you happiness. I'm like, let me try. Let me try. Um, so I never pursued it back home. I did some little stints, acting stints back home, but nothing full time.
Okay.
And so when Keegan left for college, I was like sort of deciding to come back home because I never intended to even stay here. I came here for him.
Right.
As soon as he's off to college, I'm out.
Right.
Because I have always been Trinidad is my home. I'm never leaving. Da, 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 da. Um, and my dad he was like, no, I would really prefer if you do not come back and leave your son in this place.
Yes.
He's like, I hope you reconsider. And I was like, I don't know, I don't like it. Um, and I lost him a year after Keegan left for college. He
Oh no.
passed. And I joke about it and I say, I think he was like, okay, you want to come home? Well, come back and let me see what you'll do if I'm not here.
If we're not, yes.
And so I
So
still
that
get a
sealed the
little
deal.
choked up, right? Because I mean, now we just ended Father's Day too, right? So like
Yes.
June is his month.
Yes.
Um, and so I started comedy June 2014, and then my dad passed in September. So he never saw me perform.
Oh no.
Yeah,
So
no. He got
sorry.
the first clip of me performing,
Mm-hmm.
but he never saw me live.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sending him a message before, and I was like, look, I did stand up and I use a lot of profanity because I
Oh,
did. Because listen, I love to cuss. I mean, I don't curse as much.
you're a good Trini girl.
Oh, God to my heart, like, I love it. Um, and I thought that I had to do it to be funny too. Like I thought, I thought it was such a
Ah,
part of me that I needed to. So my
yes.
first show, oh my gosh, I cuss on, cuss on, cuss on, cuss. I still cuss,
Mm-hmm.
but I've learned that I don't have to do it as much. That I don't
Okay.
have to use it as a
Okay.
crutch.
Right.
So anyway, so I told him, I'm like, look, I curse a lot. Do you
Mm-hmm.
still want to see the video? And he said, "Oh, of course I want. I know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? I know who you
There
are.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Yes.
send it." And that was a crucial moment for me too, in terms of staying true to myself. Because if my
Mm-hmm.
dad is okay with me
Mm-hmm.
cussing, he's like, Cindy-Ann, I
Mm-hmm.
know you. I was like, okay.
So
And
that was part of the authenticity.
yeah,
That was the
that was part
first part.
Yes.
that was part of the endorsement about it. I'm really coming through to the realization that he was always that person in terms of
Mm-hmm.
I was very rebellious growing up. I would call her whatever that means, but
Ah, I wonder why. We get a little bit of that vibe, you
I
know.
call her, I
Yeah.
was a handful. So, and he would always say to me, you are who you are. I want you to love yourself. You are the top 10 most important people in your life must be you. Sunday and Sunday and Sunday. And he always encouraged me. I almost got expelled from high school at a school
Oh
that
my.
he was teaching.
Oh my.
And even
Okay,
then,
so
and it
yeah.
was, yeah, and even then, he was like, were you wrong for what you did?
Mm.
And I said I was, and he's like, okay. But
Okay.
of course, I did
Yeah.
not get expelled because,
Yeah.
nepotism, with it's sweet and juicy,
You were damn
nepotism is
lucky. You
juicy.
were damn lucky.
Oh, I
What
did
would the
not get it.
Caribbean be without a little nepotism?
I mean, the
Sadly,
world.
sadly or not. In your case,
Mm,
not.
I love it.
But hear what?
Mhm.
So that was your first taste. You said 2014, right? We're 2026 now. So it's been 12 years. So congratulations on,
Yeah.
staying
Yes.
true to this art form over the 12 years. And I'm sure you learned a lot because
Mm-hmm.
as you said, from having to use cussing as a crutch,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that that was what was making you funny. I'm pretty sure the growth that you would have experienced over the time. So talk to us about how being authentic is no joke, like it really is
Yeah.
no joke. Like what were the coming home moments, some of the coming home to yourself moments that really you recognize, especially in stand up, of an art
Mhm.
form that is not easy to do and can be very personal. So
Okay,
Yes.
talk to us about that and how you navigated and still
okay.
navigate that.
And still have to
Yeah.
navigate. I will say my accent,
Mm-hmm.
because when I started doing comedy, I remember going on this search to find somebody who's Trini with this accent, and I couldn't find anyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so for a long time, I would get on stage and I would be like, "Ugh, and these people are not going to understand what I'm saying." Yeah, there would be that fear in me, and then it would affect my delivery because I would be speaking so slowly, and I would have to choose my words wisely, and it was really just playing on me.
Yeah.
And I even did accent reduction classes because I remember doing a show once, and I remember the word. I think I said red, but the way I said it, they didn't get it. And a
Ah,
friend suggested to do it, and I did. And I don't think that was me not being authentic. I think that
okay.
was me just giving myself a tool to cope, right?
Yes.
Being
Yes.
So I
smart.
didn't.
You have to
Being
be
smart and
understood. You're
real.
Right.
communicating. You have to.
Correct. I didn't dilute my accent, and I never
Right.
planned on it, but I needed a tool to get me through.
Right.
And accent
Understanding your
reduction,
audience and making sure they understand you.
correct,
Exactly.
because then my audience is not, there's not a wide Caribbean audience here.
Right.
So, am I just going to be silly? Because authenticity also has to make sense to you. You can't be, well, I
Mhm.
am who I am and I don't care because I
Yes.
love this. And we also have to be smart with it. And
Of
so,
course.
Mhm. And that's why the
where
best selves when I started. That's why the best self is
Yes.
professional self. It's not like we're hiding piece of us, but it's
Yeah.
how do we show up that
Right.
allows us to actually excel in the space that we want to excel in.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct. And so I remember I was doing Clubhouse, and I spoke about this before, and another comic saying to me, I think you need to change your accent if you want to succeed in this business.
Right.
Mhm.
And somebody else chimed in and said, no, maybe 15 years ago, yes, 10, 15, but not now, where the world is becoming so much more diverse and accepting. And I said, yeah, I'm keeping my accent. And so that was one aspect of it. The other thing is when I started doing shows back home, because now I started comedy here, and then I came to Trinidad in 2017, and people were like, "Are you doing a show?" And I said, "Yes." And now I'm doing the formatting of the show. I'm booking a venue. I'm booking comedians, people to be on the show, and
Mhm.
I'm getting pushback for the way I want to do the show because they're like, first of all, you cannot do a show without intermission. Um, I'm like, why not? I'm like, it's not going to have intermission. The run of the show is the run
Right.
of the show. Staying true to yourself and being firm on your belief. And
Right.
yeah, that you in this instance, you are the pro in this, right? You are the
Right.
person who knows what you want to do, and not allowing people to defer you or
Mhm.
deter you from doing it your way. So I
Right.
got must have um, intermission.
Mhm.
Then I would book comics and I would be like, hey, I need you to do 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And they were like, what do you mean? Like, if my joke is 20 minutes, they want me to do it. And I'm like, well, cut it in half. You know, that's what I
That
want.
didn't go down too well, I imagine.
No, no. I mean, and people were like, "Bah, nah, nah, nah." And there have been instances where I've said, okay, well, then we can work together. And I've walked away from it. And I could be a little hasty too, I have a little anger issues too. So, which I've learned that sometimes, you don't always have to tell people where to get off. You could just be very, you understand, George? It still takes some of me to give. Again, my authentic self would be to cuss you and thing.
Right.
That's
Your natural
but
instinct.
yeah, would be to be like, ugh. But you grow and you learn,
Right.
and you have to come to the realization that that is not always the best approach,
Yes.
right? At the end of the day, you want to get the message across in the best way possible, and maybe even still maintain some sort of relationship that's mutual. We just kind of
Absolutely.
work together, right? Because this is what I need from you, and if you can't give it to me, that's fine. I understand. I'll find someone else who can give it to me
Yeah.
because it happens to
Right.
me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so being able to say that, being able to say, I'll show you a light and you have a minute to get off the stage, and not have people be like, wait a minute, you come in here to control what people doing, those things, and staying true to my voice and the
Mhm.
topics that I want to talk about. Because I think
Right.
coming from the Caribbean, and I will say, because I can't speak on all of the Caribbean, I could speak on home, Trinidad and Tobago. When you leave, you get an opportunity to sort of look on or look back. I don't want to say back because it's not that I'm looking back, but you get to look on
Mhm.
with different lens. And you
Yes.
see that you get to recognize, man, we live in a society that's so drenched in shame and so drenched in fear of judgment
Mm.
that oftentimes we don't say what we feel, or we don't let people know what we're really going through, so
Mhm.
that we exist in a space of, to quote Ket, rum and Coca-Cola.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
we are okay when the music is on and the lights are on, and
Yes.
and, and but when the lights go down and we're dealing with depression, or we're dealing with anxiety, or with abuse, or what addiction, whatever
Mhm.
that is,
Yeah.
we can't talk about it.
Right.
And so when someone is bold enough or brave enough, because people have said you're brave, I don't
Mhm.
typically like to consider myself as brave. Because, honey, if a roach comes in this room now, this whole thing is over. I'm done.
We are kindred spirit.
All of us. All of us.
Going with brave is the
For me, it's the lizard.
anything creepy and crawly, I am out. You see
Oh,
my laptop shut down, I am out.
we see how brave you are then.
Yeah. So I don't like to use the word brave, but people use it, and I guess brave in certain things. In terms,
Courageous.
I
Yes.
like maybe courageous, maybe
Yes, I think so.
vulnerable,
Yeah.
Definitely
maybe
vulnerable. Yeah.
definitely, I mean, sometimes too vulnerable.
Yeah.
So that I want to be able to talk about my journey,
Yeah.
whatever that is, whether it is I'm in a space where today I don't love my son. He disappointed me in certain things. And I want to say that in a way that, because comedy is tragedy plus time.
Yeah. Ah.
In a moment while I'm being hurt and I'm dealing with issues concerning my
Mm-hmm.
son as a mother, whatever that is, and it could be trivial too. It could be that I've asked
Yes.
him 10,000 times to put out the garbage,
Yes.
right? And now I'm kicking down the door and we having a talk. But then when I step out, I want everybody to feel I have this stellar son who helps me out at home. I'm not going
Right.
to say that he lies in bed whole day and he's a waste of time and da, 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 da. But so that when I do come on stage and I say that, and speaking about my son in this moment,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
I'm just saying for us to say, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted my son to be, or I wanted my daughter to be a doctor, and she just decided to become a teacher, or she just
Yeah.
decided she wanted to go into the arts
Or
and
a
become,
comedian.
or I was getting to it, you take my punchline.
She got your
You're
joke.
coming, you're already practicing for truth, Georgia, like you want to be a comic for real. Um, that we can't say that because now it comes. You understand what I mean? And I think when you are bold enough to say it or vulnerable enough to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
people are like, ugh, this is uncomfortable. I
Yeah.
don't want to hear
Yeah.
about it. I
Yeah.
don't want to hear that you are unhappy in your marriage. I don't want to hear that you've had a
Mm-hmm.
miscarriage. I don't
Yes.
want to hear that you have lived through an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear about it.
I guess we don't associate those things with comedy, even though
Precisely. That's
even
not
Yes.
though
fun
there are real things that many of us can relate to, and all of us go through things all
Oh,
of the
yes.
time.
all
But
of the
it's
time.
hard. Maybe we want to, as you say, the rum and Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
In our Caribbean society, we just want to go out and laugh and have a good time, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to think about all of the other stuff. We just don't want to.
Yes.
Correct.
Because
we'd
it's
rather
easy. You
we'd
don't
rather
have to go
pretend it
deep.
doesn't exist.
Yes.
It's
Sorry, go
shallow.
ahead.
You don't have to go deep.
So some
Yeah,
people get uncomfortable,
get
Yes.
uncomfortable.
but
Yeah.
some people could also receive it and see the humor in it.
Yeah,
But
Yes.
usually those people are the people who are healing or who are honest and
On
true
that journey, yes.
on that journey. Because if you are still in a relationship that's abusive or
Mm-hmm.
still or an addict, and I am
Yes.
joking about addiction, or
Yes.
you are still in a process of not having a good relationship with your parents,
Mm-hmm.
that the laughter doesn't come because
Yeah.
the hurt is too much.
you're hurting, you're internalizing what I'm
Yes.
saying, and you're
Yes.
actually seeing yourself in that position.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, I have healed already,
Yes.
so I could say I used to drink. I mean, sometimes I have drunk myself through 5 years of my life. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember 5 years. I used to drink so much. I used to drink a lot.
Yeah.
Somebody who's battling addiction now will probably get up and walk off because they're like, I don't
Yes.
want to hear. I don't
That's
want to hear
triggering
about
for
it.
them.
It's
yeah,
triggering for them.
yeah,
Yes.
And so staying true to that, to my voice
Mm-hmm.
and the things that make me funny,
Mm-hmm.
or I shouldn't say that make me funny, that I find funny,
yeah,
Yes.
is what I can talk about. I can't speak on Georgia's experience. I can't
Right.
speak on
yeah,
your experience.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But part of my healing journey is to make light of it
Yeah.
and hopefully get people to join me in that celebration of getting over the tragedy,
Mm-hmm.
correct.
the
Yes.
celebration and the acknowledgement. of
Yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Cindy's a true stand-up, Emily. She
yeah,
stands up
she
for
is.
herself.
She stands up for herself, but I think stand up for herself, stand up for her point of view,
Yes.
the format, like I get the way, the format that we do things in Trinidad and Tobago sometimes is different from the format we see when we go abroad and we see shows
Yeah.
different. And sometimes it works in here versus there, or
Hmm.
sometimes we can actually do with some change over
Yeah,
here.
that is
Who
true.
knows?
Yeah,
I mean,
True. Yeah.
I'm a proponent always for change and progress, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
So but I get what you say, and it's difficult, like that earlier part of the conversation, balancing the, maybe the word of the people who have been there before
Mm-hmm.
and
hmm,
wanting to bring something different. So
correct.
I
Yes.
get I get the change, and then the content is also different. So curious if our audience is ready for that kind of content. I mean, I
Yeah.
know that I mean, in many stand-up audiences, the content you speak about is normal, right? It's
Normal. Is
normal.
it? So
And
normal.
Normal, normal.
normal.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm
But
terrible at these
Emily and Cindy and the people who watch our podcast, they're saying to themselves, even at work, I go through this. So we're not necessarily just talking about you on stage, Cindy and we're so happy that you've brought this to us. But how does it translate across, corporate settings in the workplace? How do people stand up for themselves? How do they make sure
Right.
that they bring themselves, their true selves? Is there an opportunity in an organization for people to be themselves? And as
I
leaders,
think
how do we give people the space?
I think so. I mean, I haven't always been doing comedy. Like you just
Yeah.
acknowledged, it's been 12 years that I've still been in and out of corporate.
Yeah.
I've been in this country for 16 years and I've probably worked at 35 jobs because I want to stand up for myself. Um, I am not a good, um, I don't deal well with authority. I,
Uh,
I don't. I struggle with, particularly when I think like you're not in a place to guide me. You know what I mean?
right.
I'm like, yeah,
Right.
you can't tell me what to do because you
Yeah.
struggle. You do have.
Yeah.
Um,
Who are you?
yeah. So I've always been rebellious
Uh-huh.
in work,
by
in school.
nature.
Huh?
By nature.
Yeah.
I
So you're
know.
still a handful.
I'm still a handful. I'm still a
Yeah, but
handful.
that's actually what brings, that's why you do well at what you do.
Yes.
Because you're rebellious, you ask the questions, you push the
Mm-hmm.
envelope, and you
Mm-hmm.
do what you do. And
Yeah.
I think where you're going with the message in terms of this for our viewers, in whatever sphere you are in,
Mm-hmm.
are you standing up for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is your voice being counted, whether it's in your personal or work life? And I mean, we're not talking, as I said, we said bring your best self to work, but how is that best self being represented? Are you
Right.
feeling like you have to be somebody totally else, or you
Else.
can you can your values align and certain basic things align that allow you to flourish in the environment that you're in? And if
Right.
you're not, think about how what switches or what you might need to do, because maybe
Yes.
it's just that you haven't opened your own voice. You haven't spoken up for
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah. Or sometimes you just have to say no. And
There you
and
go.
A
yeah,
simple
and
word. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you brought that up in terms of being your best self and putting yourself in spaces that you can flourish and that you
Mm-hmm.
can thrive.
Yes.
Because I have said yes to things and have not been able to be my best self for a
Right.
number of reasons, right? Either I didn't do the homework
Mm-hmm.
in terms of asking the right questions. So someone might reach out and be like, hey, Sanyan, we need a comedian. And I say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I get there and I realize, oh,
This is not for you.
they didn't need a comedian, they needed a host.
Right.
Ah, okay.
Right,
Okay.
right. And so you get there and the audience is not ready to receive me
Mm-hmm.
because that's not the space for me to succeed.
Yes.
And so I do the gig and I leave not feeling good about myself. The
Mm-hmm.
person who has hired me are pissed because they didn't get what they thought
What
they
you
paid me
wanted.
for.
Right.
The audience walks away thinking I am a piece of You understand?
Oh my.
And nobody wins. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody wins. And
Mm-hmm.
so that has happened to me quite recently. You know,
Oh,
stand-up comedy needs it's not like a concert like a Beyonce or a Kes or a
yes.
Marshall. It's not that. Think if you've ever been to like a jazz show, have
Mm-hmm.
you ever been to see jazz?
Oh
Like
yeah.
or people sit and listen to jazz. There
Yeah.
is no one with their phone out thing in.
Yes.
People are
I
not
mean, a
standing.
real jazz show.
I'm talking about authentic. Like, was this a group I just got into? Um, Thelonious Monk or something like that is their name. I just
Okay.
got introduced. Are you familiar with it, Georgia? Thelonious Monk, I think is the
Thelonious
name.
Monk. Yeah, I don't. I've seen.
Correct. So
Yes.
their music is, I just recently started to get into it because
Okay.
I was listening to this podcast and they were talking about jazz as a creative outlet.
Yeah.
And I get it because when you listen to jazz, there is no singing along. Whereas with soca music, I tend to get into it and you forget your purpose, right? You think, hello, hello. With jazz, it's really just like a background music that stimulates your brain in a
Mm-hmm.
certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I heard that recently and I was like, let me try it. And it's true. It's true.
Right.
Try it. But I'm just saying, when you go to a jazz show, everyone is listening
Listening.
to what is to the message because
Mm-hmm.
there is so much in the message, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jazz and comedy is the same. I'm just saying, comedy is also very intimate. If I'm on stage doing
Yes.
Right.
stand-up comedy
Right.
and people are moving around, children are running, people are eating and slurping, clanging their plates with a knife and fork, I have lost the plot
You're in the
completely.
wrong place.
I'm in the
You're
wrong
just in the
place.
wrong place.
I'm in the wrong place. People
Yeah.
back to me, it's like, we crave attention,
Mm-hmm.
because we need that energy. And so I
Right.
think part of staying authentic is being able to say no.
No.
Yeah. Knowing
And
when to say no.
Oh,
sometimes people receive it as, who does she think she is?
And
You
that's
know,
okay.
and
yeah.
that's okay
That's
too.
okay. It's also
That
knowing yourself. So being okay with whatever people think.
Whatever people say, so I
those are
ask,
two important points. Say no and being okay with what they say or
what
think.
they say
We're
after.
not gonna please
Because,
everyone.
Yeah.
and I said it recently, someone reached out to me to book me for an event, and I asked the questions because
Mm-hmm.
I did one event in particular that I took on, and I got there and I was like, oh, why did I say yes to this? But I did it. Sometimes you need the money too.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, George? I'm not going to say,
You got to be real. You've got to be real.
sometimes you need the money, and
Yeah.
you're like, I'll take this gig, and maybe the song will be different.
Mm-hmm.
This one would be different. And it wasn't. And so sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's not even worth the money
Yeah.
Right.
because you leave there, people are like, I'll never see that. I'll never go watch that girl. I thought she was funny. I've seen her on Instagram.
Yeah.
She's
So you
so
lose
funny on
more than you
Instagram.
gain.
You
You
lose
lose
more
more
than
than
you
you
gain in the
gain.
long run,
Yeah.
right? You get a
Yeah. So
taste
it
of it.
really, it really, it really
It's not,
forces you. It forces you
Yeah.
to
it
really be
forces you to stay true to
true to
yourself if
yourself.
you want
Yeah.
to move ahead in any business, whether it's corporate, whether
Yes.
it's entertainment, whether you are painting, whether you are whatever it is. It's I think the best approach is to
Mm-hmm.
say no.
No.
This is
Right.
what I can offer to you. If this is not what you need, then I'm not your girl.
Right.
And be okay with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Wow.
think we need to wrap.
Yeah.
We're way over time today, and it's been fun. It's been really good talking to you, Cindy-Ann.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your parts of your personal journey. I know there's so many more parts
Yeah, there
um, that
are.
you probably didn't share, but I think one of the things you said that we didn't really come back to was the idea of um, the idea of not having the rum and Coca-Cola mentality, but
Mm,
rather allowing ourselves to also, understand how the only time, I think you said it, the only time you can really laugh at yourself is when you have dealt with the issues or are dealing positively with the issues that are happening. And don't for any don't ever think that you're the only one going through things.
Going
Every
through.
one of us in this planet, we go through things, and the only way for us to heal and get over those things is to talk about them and to really,
Yeah.
be open,
Yeah.
in a trusted space regarding them. So I think that idea of being able to find a way to laugh at ourselves is something really important. And if you can't laugh at yourself, it means that there's something there that we still need to work on.
Yeah.
And trust me, we're always working on
Yeah.
something.
And
So
also, don't get in the way of people who want to laugh at themselves. That's also very, you know what I mean? Let people
yeah,
do it. And
well,
just to very quickly say this, I also love the rum and Coca-Cola culture. So I don't want people to feel, "Shah." I do. And I want to make that very, I do. There's a time and
Of
place for
course, there's a time and place
everything.
as you. That's it.
I'm very, look at my colors today. I mean, I come out in
Yay.
my red, you understand? But there is just so much more to who we are. And I think if we allow ourselves to embrace and accept that,
Mhm.
I think we're good to go.
yeah, yeah. So everyone out there, thank you again, Cindy-Ann.
You're
Let's
welcome.
all figure out, check in and see if we're standing up for ourselves, recognizing that being authentic is no joke. However, it really is so healthy if we embrace and more of
Yes.
ourselves and bring ourselves wherever we are, our true selves. So
Yes.
thank you again. Have a
Thank you
wonderful,
for having
wonderful
me.
Lovely having you. Take
Yes.
care, Cindy, and bye.
Bye.
bye.